I will tell you that this document here, which just happens to be my initial notes that I am doing for my presentation, or one of my presentations, at the upcoming AOE conference, is all about differentiators, how to differentiate your product, all right? So I'm going to give you a couple of things off of that. Now, clearly, my presentation at the AOE conference is going to go for like 90 minutes or something like that. I'm going to go into it in massive detail, how to differentiate your product properly so you can go into these crazily competitive markets and carve out a really profitable niche for yourself. So that's going to be one of my presentations at the upcoming AOE conference. Having said that, I guess what I'm saying is, in 5 minutes, I ain't going to be able to cover everything for you. But here's some things to think about. Kate Ingham, the fantastic Kate Ingham, often talks about, and whenever she does a product discovery session with somebody, she's a brilliant differentiator, very smart business lady, she often talks about bundling products together. So taking two best-selling products, bringing them together into a bundle, and so that anybody who's looking for those two products, automatically you're the only game in town to buy them because you've simply bundled them together. So bundling is always a really, really good differentiator. Now, if I was going to be doing any bundling, let's just go to Amazon and let's just find something, I don't know. What have we got? I don't know, that'll do. So if I was going to be selling my Nintendo Switch, this could be any product, it does not matter. Amazon tells you what to bundle together. Amazon tells you what to bundle. They give it to you, and it's frequently purchased together. That's your bundling ideas, all right? That's what you that's where you get your ideas for bundles, because anybody that wants to buy that, if they see it, that it automatically comes with Zelda, for instance, or Super Mario, then you've got a much higher likelihood of selling it to them, because there's a percentage of the audience that wants to buy those things together. Hope that makes sense. So bundling is very, very good. Taking an existing product and adding a new ingredient to it, that's always going to be a very, very cool idea to do. Let's take protein powders, for instance. Well, if we look at protein powders, and if I just type in with, so you can see already the natural evolution of the protein marketplace. You've got protein powder with creatine, that's a differentiator. With greens, that's a differentiator. BCAA, collagen, spirulina, natural sugars, vitamins and minerals, melatonin, etc., etc. So there are other ways to differentiate your product, is by adding a new ingredient into an existing product. A new source of ingredients. So for instance, protein powder, let's stick with this. I don't know if this is going to work. It didn't work, that's a shame. So protein powder, well, there's different sorts of whey protein isolate, which is the main constituent part of protein powder. And the best whey protein isolate happens to come from New Zealand, from a company called Fonterra. Now they do grass-fed organic whey protein isolate. So by adding in a new source, or we get our whey protein isolate from New Zealand, from Fonterra, you've automatically differentiated your product. Same product, but differentiated now. A product that fixes a problem. So protein powder, let's see if we can come up with one from this. Protein powder, what about if we say easy? There we go. So now we've got another set of ideas for differentiators. So protein powder, which is easy on the stomach, which is easy to digest, which is easy to dissolve. That's 3 different differentiating strategies for protein powder. There's a problem. Protein powder, it's actually pretty difficult for some people to digest. So if you can make yours easy to digest, that's an awesome way to differentiate your product. Country of origin is another one. So protein powder from New Zealand, for instance, that's a very, very good way of differentiating your product. The country of origin. Country of origin can be applied to single constituent parts of the product too. So if you were doing a protein powder and you got the green aspect of the protein powder from Australia and the whey protein from isolate from New Zealand, well, now you've married up two different countries to differentiate your product. Hope this is all making sense. Price, that's a big differentiator. You should either be at the very, very top of the market or in the very, very middle of the market. Don't go for the bottom of the market. That's a bad strategy. But it's oftentimes a really good strategy to be 10% more than everybody else. Given that your product is good, of course, to be 10% more than everybody else. Because there's some people who only buy the most expensive version of a product. That's all they'll buy. So an example of that, I needed some new coolant for my car on Friday, and so I went and purchased some coolant, and I just looked for the most expensive coolant. I was like, well, I've got the car, I've got the Porsche, I need the cool coolant to go in it. I'm just going to get the best one. The best one necessarily ought to be the most expensive. Therefore, I need the most expensive coolant. And that's what I got. That's how it works. Material not used is another differentiating feature as well. So if everybody else is putting, I don't know, vanilla into theirs, if you don't put vanilla in, then you've differentiated your product. If everybody else is using grass-fed whey protein powder from New Zealand, and you use grass-fed all American cows have made our whey protein isolate, well, that's a differentiator. And the last one I'm going to give you in this very, very speedy session is spokesperson. So spokesperson is a really incredible differentiator. If we take, for instance, that, imagine protein powder, let's just do protein powder again. Protein powder that Arnold Schwarzenegger used, then you've got a crazy differentiator. If everybody wants to buy Arnie's protein powder, then there's going to be folks who will only buy yours simply by virtue of the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger or the most current Mr. Universe uses it, for instance. So there you go. There's a few different ideas for bundling and for differentiating your products. As I said, I've got this crazy document here where, I don't know, well, there's like 20 or 30 different differentiators that I've worked out for you, and I'm going to go through all those with demonstrations and with examples at the upcoming AOE conference in March. So a little bit of a tease for you. If you've already booked your tickets, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.